Daryl, time to do some work.
Big boys are in town.
That is absolutely massive.
Lake Bled is one of the most picturesque venues you could ever wish to catch a carp. Surrounded by the enormous peaks of the Triglav National Park, the fishing is on a days only basis and we've got 9 full days to make it happen. This place has been on my bucket list for quite some time. Not only is it an epic location, but it holds a huge head of big carp. If Disney had ever made a carp lake, Lake Bled would be that.
Welcome to Thinking Tackle. It's exactly what we wanted.
Welcome to Disneyland.
He's a lad.
Oh, I've lost it. Starting to feel like a bit of a grind, if I'm honest.
Yes! Get in there. Whee! Can go home now.
A little cheeky, I think it might be here. We're here. What a day. Must have been at least another 10 hours at the wheel. And unfortunately on arrival, it was already dark. So we met Gaspar. We had a lovely meal with him this evening, but it was dark when we got to the lake. Spoke to a few anglers, saw which sort of positions were taken, did hear a few fish jumping, but you know, it's not the best introduction to a lake, you know, to see it for the first time in the dark. So the plan is to set my alarm for 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. You're not allowed to start fishing until 6:30, but by the time we've loaded up, got down to the lake, loaded the barrows up, got round to the swims, it should be about 6 o'clock, and that'll give me sort of half an hour to sort of prep a couple of rigs. There's only 2 rods here at Lake Bled, and yeah, to see it for the first time as that sun comes up tomorrow, super, super exciting.
Oh, would you have a look at that?
Probably one of the most famous views in carp fishing, the church at Lake Bled in Slovenia. Now it's a venue that I've wanted to fish for absolutely ages. Obviously I've seen other films here on YouTube, I've seen pictures on Instagram, but to finally be here in the flesh and see it firsthand, it is truly absolutely amazing. It's like a picture postcard. It's late October at the moment, so all the trees are changing colour. It's just, yeah, it's a sight to behold. The lake is sort of got different zones for what I mean by zones in when fishing is permitted. Fishing starts all around the lake in the permitted areas an hour before first light. Certain areas, like the area that we're starting in today, you're allowed to fish until 1 hour after dark, and the other areas you're allowed to fish until 11 p.m. So we woke up this morning at 5 o'clock. We've come round to the position where we are, and the opening line of attack was to spom out a mixture of 10mm cell and sweet corn at 60 metres. 60 metres is the range that Gaspar recommended, and he said it's between 16 and 17 metres deep out there. But because it's so deep, obviously you've got to take into account the swing back. So I've baited at 16.5 wraps like he suggested, but the fishing rods are at 18 wraps, so a rod length and a half further, and that's to anticipate the swing back. Rig wise, I've gone in with the Combi multi-rig. It's a rig obviously that I'm very confident in. Caught a lot of fishing, and what I favour for fishing slow sinking hook baits. And with regards to the hook baits themselves, I've got a 15mm essential cell wafter, which is yellow on one rod. That's sort of matching the hatch a little bit with the sweet corn. And I've got a 15mm salty squid on the other rod, which obviously will stand out a little bit. Probably start or keep with them to start with to see which produces the first bites. For today, I'm planning to stay in this swim until sort of 2-3 o'clock, because Gasper assures me that his favourite swim on the lake is coming free tomorrow. There's a couple of his friends have been fishing over there that are leaving this afternoon, and obviously we can only fish here until an hour after dark, but we'll move around there in the afternoon, get into that swim, rebait, recast, get the rods out, obviously fish up until 11 p.m. and just take it from there. You know, I'm gonna go with his advice to start with. You know, I'll be silly not to listen to someone that's fished here as much as he has. Perhaps give it a couple of days, just give myself a little bit of time to download where I think the fish are. You know, I've seen quite a few fish this morning out in that rowing lane, and I have seen a couple of fish near-ish to where we're fishing in the vicinity, but certainly the majority of what I've seen has been over the other side. So yeah, we're going to fish here till the afternoon and then move over to the other side, do the evening in the swim that Gasper suggests, and with any luck we'll catch ourselves some of these lovely bled carp and get a photo with that church in the background.
Not a lot happened over the next few hours. I hadn't really seen anything to make me want to stick around, so I was keeping to the original plan. I started to pack up and make my way to the swim that Gasper had recommended.
Oh, leaf it out.
Round in the new position, I knew I would need to be casting further, so I made a tactical decision to change from 12-pound contour to the 15-pound long chuck for ease of casting. I then began to gather my things before heading off to the next swim. With nothing to do but wait until this angler moved, I set my stall and took in the scenery. After a few hours of waiting, the angler that was leaving decided that in fact he was now staying. He'd seen a few fish in the area and wanted to wait it out, which was fair play. With darkness drawing in fast, I quickly got on the move. I found a swim 100 metres or so up the bank and flicked out the rods.
Well, we are finally sitting behind rods, and the old church out there is all lit up lovely, and it does look pretty spectacular, to be honest. But it has been a really long day. Obviously we got up really early this morning, come round to this swim which they call the Point. I'm sort of I don't know, I'm 100 yards round from those two guys that caught the fish yesterday evening on a bit of a point, so I'm much closer to the island. Gasper said that the fish tend to get caught in this area at around 80 metres. So I've clipped up my spod rod at 22 reps, spommed 20 spoms, a mixture of corn and 10mm cell. The fishing rods are 23.5 to allow for, it's pretty deep out there, I don't know exactly, but to allow for quite a substantial swing back. And I'm fishing combi multi-rigs with 15mm essential cell wafters tipped with balanced maize, basically like a snowman rig with the plastic corn acting as the topper as such. But there's been quite a few fish have topped out there, not on me, but just beyond me, and certainly as close to me as they are to anyone else. So it's just gone 7. We've got nearly 4 hours to go until it's reeling in time. Most of the fish apparently at the moment, well, not most fish, a lot of the fish are getting caught between sort of 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. So we've got the rods out in good time to sort of to get quiet out there for a couple of hours, time for the fish to work their way onto the bait. And fingers crossed, you know, it's only day 1.
Almost 4 hours passed without incident. It seemed as though everything was against me, even my Pepsi.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
Oh my God.
With 10 minutes to go before the church bells called time, I began to pack up before heading back to the villa after what had been a very, very long first day. The next morning, it was absolutely hammering down. But on a positive note, I managed to secure the swim that I'd wanted to be in yesterday. Wasting no time, I quickly wrapped up the rods to the marks that Gasper had recommended, flicking out the rods and spomming with corn and boilies over the top.
And then just like that, we were f***ing in. Well, as you can see, it's raining cats and dogs. It's been a challenging day, to say the least. Been out in the rain, casting, re-spomming, getting wet. Pike anglers all over the top of me. And then just when it was all feeling like it was a little bit too much, one of the rods pulls up tight. I'm still not 1000% convinced it's a carp. Doesn't feel very big. There it is on top out there. I think it's a small carp. Yes, it looks like a small carp. But it's a start. Carp on Lake Bled. That's exactly what we wanted. Get out the tree, baby. It's all going wrong. It's all... Here we go. She's in. Absolutely needed that. Needed that. Oh. Right, can we go home now? like home, like UK. Oh. Well, I've got to be honest, today has been a total washout. Drenched from the word go, standing out there in the rain, recasting, spomming, just getting absolutely soaked. And was considering giving it in for today, calling an early one as such, getting back to the apartment to get dry. And just when all the doubts and the despondency was setting in, this little fella's come along and perked up the day, no end. Yeah, over the moon to get off the mark. The first one, always the hardest, and now I can relax a little bit with the pressure being off, but loads of fish to go at. Just need to get dry because I'm absolutely soaked. Super pleased to have got off the mark. Not a big fish, but a great start. And with 7 days still to go, you know, it's lifts the pressure a little bit. I think one thing that was quite significant in the capture was taking the time with the marker rod to calculate how far the lead is swinging back in comparison to the spod rod. I've calculated that it's 35 foot deep out there, and the spom rod is at 27.5 and the fishing rod's at 28.5, so it's swinging back one rod length to get the rig directly under the bait. It's only early in the afternoon, so the best time in the last few days, having spoke to the other anglers, has been in the evening still, so there's still every chance of another one yet. And yeah, I can't wait to get back in the chair and hopefully can see another fish this evening. When it comes to autumn clothing, you know, you have to be prepared for a variety of conditions. You know, early in the autumn, you can easily have late summer days, if you like, you know, temperatures into the 20s degrees, which is t-shirt weather. But conversely, you know, late October, early November, you can have freezing cold starry nights, you can have lots of rain, and it would be my advice to have sort of an array of different clothes packed. So firstly, waterproof clothing, absolutely essential in the autumn. You know, the grass is likely to be very wet, especially early in the morning and in the evening and when it's raining, so you want some waterproof footwear. On top of that, you'd like a cold weather jacket. You know, in the daytime you might be rocking a fleece, as I am here. You know, it's sort of 15 degrees, quite comfortable with just a t-shirt or some thermal undergarment underneath. But once it gets dark, you know, a hoodie and a nice puffer jacket to just cover my ears and my neck. A lot of the time I'm not wearing thick trousers during the daytime. I'll just be wearing sort of normal, sort of thin combats. But of a cold evening or early in the morning, the polar combats are absolutely perfect. and no late autumn session wouldn't be complete without a nice woolly hat. So in a nutshell, be prepared. The key to good angling is in the preparation, and if you make sure you've got the right stuff with you, you'll be comfortable and you'll be more likely to fish well. For the rest of the day, there was nothing to report other than the fact that the rain had finally given it a rest. Based on recent catch reports, all I could do was wait until darkness fell for my next chance at a bled carp. Thankfully, I was in luck. As is the way in the autumn, the night is the best time, and although Bled is a day-only venue, you are permitted to stay until 11 o'clock. It's getting dark pretty early, you know, half 6, 7 o'clock, so you're getting several hours of darkness. Oh, he's going in the weed. Cool, he's going in the weed. There he is. Get in there. Yes! A productive day. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, check him out. 35 pounds and the perfect end to day 2 at Lake Bled. The evening's the time for sure, but for now it's time to get wound in, get back to the accommodation, get a good night's sleep. Be back first thing tomorrow to get those rods back in. Well, unbelievably, I've just literally cast a single rod out to the same clip as last night, picked up the second rod, was just about to cast that one out.
Rolling Daryl.
And the first one, I didn't even turn the buzzer on, you know, just lay it on the rest with an open clutch. I just walked up next to it, it's going so yeah, the perfect start to the morning. Welcome to Disneyland. I am your tour guide for this week. It's out towards the castle. I didn't even get a chance to put any bait out, and I often think that single hook baits aren't that effective in the dark, but I have done quite well in the past, or better, on bright pink baits in the dark, especially with the squid goo. Although I'm not using the original pink squid goo this time, I'm using the white one. I'm using it on the mainline salty squid wafters, tipped off with a bit of slow sinking pink plastic maize. Bing, bing, 7 AM. Being prepped on these day-only venues is absolutely massive. You know, having hooks sharpened, obviously they're Kamakuras, but having checked the points, so I'm 100% confident they're in tip-top condition. It means that I ain't got to sit there in the dark trying to see if they're all right, you know, knowing that they're in that hook safe. I could just unclip them, put them on. It would have been better if I'd hook baits prepped, and it would have been better if I was already wrapped up, but maybe I can do that this evening. Quick bites on the squid. Oh, I see a fish. I see fish. Carp. He's going for the lilies. Stop him. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yes. Yes. Get in there. Wicked. What a start. Check him out, 35 pounds, and a lovely two-tone on that side, and the perfect start to this morning. It's just got light, mist on the mountains. It looks absolutely mega out there. Slight hook bait change, a salty squid 15mm wafter, soaked in the white squid goo and tipped off with a little bit of slow sinking pink maize. Maybe it made a difference, maybe it didn't, but certainly hook bait I'm going to be persevering with. A great start to day 3, another 35 pounder. Interestingly, nothing else has happened this morning. You know, that bite came sort of at twilight, instantly after casting out. Several hours have played out since then and nothing else has materialised. What that sort of suggests to me is that the hours of darkness are going to be the most important. Obviously in the morning you're only getting sort of half an hour of dark before it gets light, but in the evening, you know, it's getting dark at 6, 7 o'clock, and then you're fishing through to 11, so you're getting much more time with the rods in the water during those hours of darkness. I really feel that's going to be the time when we're going to get our next bite.
I waited until lunchtime to bait up, this time with boilies, and due to the occasional nuisance fish, I started to feed some tiger nuts. I spent the next few hours of daylight inspecting hooks and making up spare rigs in preparation for the evening ahead.
Better get my torch on. A very, very quiet day really. Not anything of note has happened to me since this morning. It seems that it's all about the hours of darkness at the moment. Well, certainly in this part of the lake, very, very little going on during the day, and then as it gets dark, the fish just start to lunk, and the later it gets, the more they're jumping, and the anticipation is just building. So yeah, I'm sat here like a coiled spring, hoping it's going to happen. Oh, that's good. That's tight. That's a take. That's a take. It's just gone 8 o'clock and we've had our first bite. I've got a third rod prepped and rigged up, waiting to go. If we get this one in, which hopefully we will, I'll quickly fire that one straight back out and make the most of these last couple of hours. Hang on, let's pass this under here. Oh, I've lost it. Lost it. Hair tangle. Oh well.
Having waited all day for that chance, to receive a hook pull was absolutely savage. I needed to suck it up though and get the rod back in position. Thankfully, with the night still young, there was every chance of another take.
We're in. Well, second chance of the evening. It's just gone 9 o'clock. Same rod that produced the first bite, the left of the two. This fish is not letting me pull it in. It's taking, it's holding its weight at range, but having just lost one, now I'm all hesitant and reluctant to pull too hard. Oh, it's taking at range. Not long after I lost my my take earlier, Gasper had a take. Obviously I was busy recasting and whatnot and didn't pay attention to how long he had it on, but he called to me, said it was a good fish. We went round there, he hadn't seen it, but it was up on the top, sort of 20 yards out, had a hook pull, and then simultaneously got another take on his other rod, which he's just landed, and it's a 60-pounder, he reckons. So, oh, absolutely mega. 60-pounder, easy. 60-pounder, easy, he says. Gasper is the king of bled. He's absolutely carving up, showing me how it's done. Oh mate, this fish is taking. Come on, let's have a brace of 60s for the win. Chuck it on me barnet, boy. Mate,
Good.
yeah, you're a top man.
I know.
Just have a little look what's going on here. See what it is. It's out to the right, left. That's good. Well, not that I've caught many from here, and you can never tell, but this one's definitely pulling a bit harder than all the ones I've caught so far. It's took line off me a few times on the back wind, but not really fast or rapid or anything, just slow and steady. But just proper paranoid now. I've lost one. Anxious. He's going to snag himself in the net. There we go. Oh, shh, get in there. Well, would you have a look at that? 64 pounds of bled mirror. That's exactly why we're here. Gasper knows the lake like the back of his hand, and he is showing us the way. If we can catch anything like that, I'll be absolutely over the moon. I've got a little one in the landing net myself, and we've still got an hour to go. So yeah, we won't keep it out of the water for too long. Just thought we'd give you a quick little glimpse of what we could have caught. And yeah, well done, man. Well done, well done, man. Yeah, I want to catch one like that. Yes. I want to catch one like that. Oh. Well, here's my offering for this evening. Perhaps half the size of Gasper's 60. Got 6 days still to go, and hopefully I can get myself one of these bled 60-pounders. A mega fish he caught. Obviously not to be sniffed at this, probably a low 30-pound common, but we're approaching the final few minutes of the evening. Need to get this one back and start packing up.
What the back of the car.
On our way back to the van, I came across quite a surprising situation. It's always great to end the evening on a high, but this driver's back wheels took that pretty literally. We couldn't leave this poor guy without giving him a helping hand.
They go, hey, go someone sit outside. No. Out. You must go back.
Okay, I'm going back.
Yes, you must go back.
I went back.
Okay, stop. One more we must go up. They must go sit.
It's gone forward though, isn't it?
No.
Stop.
No, stop now, stop.
No, it's okay.
No, it's not okay.
It's okay. I can turn it.
Yeah, he can come down. Yes.
Oh!
Woo!
Guys, ciao, see you tomorrow, guys. Good job. Ciao. Thanks. So, one day more fishing.
See you later. So, good deed done for the day. Yeah, let's get back to the apartment, get some shut-eye, because it's probably 11:30 now. By the time we get back to the accommodation, it's going to be 12.
get to sleep 1. I want to be up at 5, so yeah, let's talk. Let's get back to the van.
Well, I've got to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit run down as of today. You know, I've had 2 days travel out, 3 full days fishing, getting up in the morning at 5, not getting back to the accommodation until like midnight, and then by the time we get to sleep 1, you're sort of functioning on 4 hours sleep, which wouldn't be too bad if you could pull up your bed chair and just have a little nap, but you're not allowed to do that here. So yeah, it's starting to feel like a bit of a grind, if I'm honest. I'm feeling a little bit grotty about it. And this morning, made the effort again to get up early, got to the swim, complete whiteout, you know, fog everywhere, can't even see my horizon markers to cast. Had to do sort of an educated pub chuck into the general vicinity. Worst case scenario, they're in the water. And the best case scenario is they're somewhere near where I intended them to go. On top of that, straight away I could see head torches on the water. There was two lure boats or pike angler boats out pretty much where I was fishing, so my area was already being disturbed. And I just, despite getting that early bite yesterday morning, I really don't think the mornings are the one. I think it really helps to have a bit of bait in the water, and it really helps for it to be dark at the moment. The fish seem to be more active at night. And with the 6:30 casting out time at the moment, you know, it's already light by 7:30. You haven't really got time to get that bait out, let it rest, and then fish through the dark hours. You know, you're making a disturbance, bombing it up, and then it's light and it's all over, and I'm sitting here feeling a bit, like I say, just a bit worn out by it. The plan for today will be to bait up again, late morning, early afternoon, let it rest, and then sit out the evening. Now, I'm not going to throw in the towel just yet. Tomorrow's the new moon, and I'm going to fish the full day today and the full day tomorrow. Whatever happens, going to push hard. But depending how that goes, I might look for a change of plan and a change of position, in that I'm not sure that all this getting up early is doing me any favours. If it doesn't pay off in the next 2 days, I think I'm going to have a lay in to recharge the batteries and have a late morning, early afternoon start, so that I'm fresher going into the evening. And after reeling in at 11 o'clock, I might loiter around a little bit to try and get a handle on where the bulk of the fish are. I think the fish are really spread, and although there's fish in this part of the lake, I just get the feeling that it's not the bulk of them. So yeah, we'll see how today goes, see how tomorrow goes, and perhaps have a change of plan.
After letting the morning period play out, I decided to top up the spot with a few cell boilies. Then I prepared a few hook baits and rigs and recast my rods ready for the evening ahead.
Oh, that was a 10.
Well, we've sat here all day, and it's now 8:45, and we've had our first take. It's very hard to tell how big they are on the end. And after having lost that one the other night, I'm being extra careful, not pulling too hard. There's no snags as such, I don't think. Very deep water, fish just waddling, just taking up the line. Try not to pull too hard. Yes. Okay, so I've got the fish in the net and I've got another rod, third rod, clipped up, fresh rig on, ready to go so that I haven't got to mess around with him, just to get it straight back out and make the most of these last couple of hours. Well, I don't know how much you can see, but it's absolutely lashing it down. Obviously, we're trying to make a carp film here, got loads of expensive camera kit, getting absolutely soaked. So there's only about an hour to go. I'm going to get this one back. It's probably a 32 pounder. The camera guys are going to leave, get back to the accommodation, try and dry out all the kit. And if I manage to catch one during that final hour, I'll have to call them back out and film it. But it's all getting a bit much. See you shortly, probably see you in the morning. So it's the afternoon after the evening of heavy rain. Decided to have a mid-session lie-in. We've done 4 consecutive days of 5 AM wake ups, getting back to the accommodation for 12 o'clock and then probably going to bed at 1. You know, we're all surviving on 4 hours of sleep, and it's, yeah, after, like I say, 4 consecutive days, it's starting to wear a little bit thin. Feeling a bit fresher today. The rain has passed and the forecast is for sunnier days for the remaining time that we're here at Lake Bled. Now, I'm feeling a little bit refreshed and a little bit rejuvenated, and I want to make a fresh start. So I was planning to spend today obviously in the original swim because today is the new moon, but you know, there's been consistent lure anglers loitering over me in the mornings and in the evenings, just before it gets light and just after it gets dark, which, you know, I don't really want them sitting over my bait when I'm expecting the fish to start feeding. On top of that, Gaspar has been fishing next door to me, and his average size of fish compared to mine has been much bigger. So I'm going to make a move. I'm going to move into the next swim, start fresh, same sort of range, 100 metres out, and see how we get on. The next few hours were spent getting the rods in and working out the swing back so I could bait up accurately. While spomming out, the crew made an eye-opening discovery. The carp were eating the bait on the drop after each and every spom. With this insight, I realised there was huge potential that none of my bait was reaching the bottom, so I decided from here on in I would bait more frequently as opposed to simply baiting once or twice a day. Then it was a case of waiting for the all-important period of darkness. Hopefully the fish would move in for the big feed. Well, if any of that bait had got to the bottom. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the rig that I've used here at Lake Bled. Now, most of you, or at least some of you, will have seen it before. It's my version of the Combi multi-rig. It's a rig that I've got enormous faith in. I've been using for a couple of years, and it's definitely my go-to when fishing with slow sinking hook baits. So when I say slow sinking hook baits, that could be anything from a wafter from 15 or from 12 to 18 mil. It could be double balanced maize, double balanced sweet corn, something like that. It could be balanced tiger nuts, anything with an element of buoyancy to it. Not a pop-up, but not a bottom bait. Some people have messaged me across social media to say that they've used this rig with bottom baits to good effect. I'm not saying that it won't work. I would suggest that it's probably not at its best with a bottom bait, because there is the potential for the boilie to be on the bottom and the hook sitting on top of the boilie as opposed to vice versa. So I'm going to talk you through how I tie my version of the Combi multi-rig, and the first thing I do is peel the coating from the 25 pound dark matter coated braid. Now there is a reason that I'm using the inner core of a coated braid as opposed to using any old braid that I might already have in my tackle box. And the first reason for that is the coarse texture of this inner braid. The coarse texture allows for less turns on the Albright knot, giving you a smaller, neater knot. And secondly, it's the inherent stiffness of this braid. Some more supple braids may cause for the hook bait and the hook to lay back up the rig when the rig comes to rest on the bottom. Now, once I've removed the coating from this product, I fold over a length that's probably 10 inches uncoated and then fold it over, so I've got a 5-inch piece of the doubled over braid. I pass this through a loop of the 25-pound Boom fluorocarbon, and I measure this out against my rig safe. So I have a starting loop position of 2.5 centimetres. I then pass the doubled tag ends around the fluorocarbon 4 times and pass both tag ends back out through the fluorocarbon loop, making sure that both the tag ends and the loop section are exiting in the same direction. And then when I pull that tight using a puller tool, the finished braided loop needs to be exactly 3.5 centimetres in length. And at that point, the most difficult part of the rig is constructed. I cover the knot over with a piece of 0.5 silicone, 10 to 12 mil in length, and I pass that over the braided loop, and I put a puller tool through the loop to give me something to grip on, and I use my fingers to push that back over the knot, trapping both tag ends go back towards the swivel end of the rig, and that is the neatest way to finish that off. You could use putty, but I like the silicone. I then trim that from the spool of the fluorocarbon. I take a 0.6 mil crimp, I pass the fluorocarbon through one side, I then go through the eye of a hybrid leg clip and then back through the opposite side of the double-barreled 0.6 mil crimp, and then I measure this again on my rig safe, and the boom section is exactly 5 inches from the ring swivel on the hybrid leg clip to the Albright knot, so a 5-inch boom. Once I've crimped that down using the pliers, I then put the puller tool back through the braided loop, hold onto the leg clip and give that a nice stretch out. From the hook end, I'm currently using a prototype kicker. It's a cut down version of something that may or may not come out, but it's about 12 mil in length, and I'm line aligning that. For those of you out there, obviously you're not going to have access to these kickers at present, but you could use a standard kicker, you could use shrink tube, the world's your oyster. Once you have your chosen kicker threaded onto the braided section, I then pass the braided loop through the front of the eye of a size 6 wide gape X. I then push the kicker over the eye of the hook, pulling on the loop so that the kicker is all the way down the rig to the Albright knot. And now you have a braided loop to thread your balance hook bait, whether that again be a 15 mil wafter, 12 mil wafter, whatever it may be, as long as it's a balanced bait, mounted on a micro rig swivel. You then pass the loop over the point of the hook and then slowly pull on the leg clip end of the rig to tighten the multi-rig sort of section by the hook until the micro ring swivel sits exactly opposite the barb. So that's exactly how I tie my version of the Combi multi-rig. It's a rig that I've been using for the last few years, and you can trust me when I say it's tried and tested.
What kind of fish do you catch?
Trying to catch carp.
The next morning, I made the effort to get up early to secure the original spot that had been serving me well. But after sitting behind motionless rods yet again, I felt a change may be in order.
Right then, going to have a little change of hook bait. Been catching pretty consistently up until this morning and yesterday evening, but now back in the original swim. You know, I know there's a spot out there that produces, but I just want something on a bit smellier, and these essential cells, they are quite pungent, and in the dark I think that will help the fish to find them. I've got to admit that before I came here, you know, you hear about all the 50s, all the 60s and whatnot, and you do hope to catch one. Before I know it, I'm staring down, having just 3 evenings, possibly 4 evenings left, without even having caught a 40 pounder. And to come this far from home to such an iconic venue, you know, I want to, I want to leave with my tail up, you know, rather than my tail down. So a lot to be done, a lot of hard work and a lot of pushing for the remainder of the session. One of those elusive bled big uns.
Hoping that a change of hook bait would bring a change in fortune, I cast out the first rod and placed it on the rest. Before I even had a chance to get the other rod out, it was away.
Well, I needed that after a little while without a fish, moving back into the original spot, Gasper's favourite swim, and cast the first rod out. Landed exactly where I wanted it to first time. Cast the second one out there, miscast it, wasn't quite where I wanted it. Reeling it in, got it about 3/4 of the way back, and the first rod on the rest just suddenly started fizzing off, which is a very positive sign. Yeah, I'm happy now. I'm much happier. What is that? Oh my God. Oh. I think I've caught Lake Bled's biggest carp. He must have heard that little chat that I did to the camera saying I've got 3 days to catch the elusive big one. It's a little baby. It's a little baby. Ah, he's in there. Look at the size of that.
Wasting no time, I got the second rod on the spot while I had the chance.
Elusive bled big uns, I said. Must have heard me. Oh. Did you get my butt crack?
Yeah, what's cracking?
What's cracking? What's cracking? What's the cracking? Well, at least it adds to the tally, eh? I'm not even sure if that might even be the same one. I think it might be the same one. Oh, go on, reach, 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 reach. Just. 2 horrific spoms out of 2. A 2 pounder in the net. It's not going quite to plan. Size of that. A Loch Ness monster. Let's take. Yes. Yes, bro. What's he gonna take to catch a big one? At the moment I'm panicking that it's far right and it's going towards Gasper's lines. I'm trying to shorten it without pulling its head off or pulling the hook out of it. Oh, I've lost it. Wow, man, wow. Oh, mate, that is savage. Mate, that was definitely over Gasper's lines. It's the second one on Sod's law. Upset about that, really. Well, a perfect introduction to this morning. I literally have just got the rods out. I put out 20 spoms before I cast out, got the rods out, literally set the net up. Hadn't even made it to my chair when the first rod was away. Great start, and hopefully we're going to get him in. Feels all right, doesn't feel massive, it ain't stripping me or anything, but after last night's loss, just want to be ultra careful. I get the feeling like this could be an excuse, you know, a lot of people make excuses when they lose fish, but the bottom is very, very soft in here, and I've just got a feeling the fish's mouths are quite soft as well. They're quite easy with heavy duty tackle to pull out of them if you're not being careful. Oh. Come on. Yes. Get in there. Oh, I needed that. I definitely needed that. Cool. A much better start to the day. Arrived in the dark, fired out 20 spoms first thing, got the rods over the top, and almost instantly this was the result. A nice 29 pounder. The plan moving forward is just put a couple of spoms out every few hours, and if nothing happens late in the afternoon, get another 20 or 30 out there and get proper set for the hours of darkness. Lovely. Got to take. For the win. Now that's what you do. I was just putting the rods out for the evening. Put the first one out towards the left-hand building out there. Right hand, they're out the right-hand building. Just about to put the rod on the rest, or just had put the rod on the rest. And the first rod just ripped off, didn't have the buzzer on or the bobbin, but it's a good start, good sign that.
Just as I thought things were going well, the fish made a beeline for the snags.
Hope there's nothing in the water off the end of that tree. Oh no, hope that's weed. Where's my waders gone?
In these situations, you have to act fast.
Cheers, Benny boy.
I needed to get my waders on, go hands-free with the net, get into the water, and try and stop what could be a huge problem.
Oh no.
That's after I've managed to get caught up the tree and the wall. After rushed efforts from both myself and the cameramen, we faced an angler's nightmare that everyone can relate to.
I think this is terminal. Yeah, this is all over. Gonna lose it.
Oh no.
Go on, Ben.
Luckily, when making carp films, there's always someone on hand.
I'm not gonna get this one.
Feeling like all was lost, I left that rod behind with a loose clutch, hoping that it might come free.
That one's terminal, man. I think. Oh, yeah. Just like you can keep an eye on that one, make sure it ain't like whizzing off.
And while I played this second fish, Ben wandered over to find the first one had gotten itself free and was now on the move.
Good work, Ben. Good work. Well, I don't know how much you've seen of what's just happened there, but first take done me in the fallen tree out to the left, got snagged up, and then the remaining rod on the rest has ripped off. I've come round to take that. That one started to pull again, and Ben's gone round there and managed to, I think he's netted me. You got it, Ben? Yeah, he's got me a nice small one in the net, good work. And this one feels like a better fish. Here we go. Oh, he's a top lip hooker, I think. Go on. Yes. Whee! Nice little flurry that. Little Barney rub. Look, I've got a blue Peter here. Well, I'm going to name this one Ben. Not only did he land this one, but he hit the 20 pounder that's waiting in my net. Lovely job, Ben. I knight you, Sir Benjamin.
For the next few hours, the bites came thick and fast, resulting in several fish of a similar size.
It's getting out of hand, this. I've got to take in my hands. Not even on the rest. Where are all these tiny ones coming from? There's 3 in the bed, and the little one said, in you go. Gosh, 4 in the bed. 4 in the bed. About to be 5. I'm opening the creche. This is for the children.
Then finally, as we went into dark, something much more substantial came along.
6 in the bed. And the big one said. This one took a lot of line on the initial run, and it's holding its ground well at range. Ben, this fish is right out in front of that guy next door. Ben, is he there? Gone. It's right out in front of him. What's his lines look like? They lasered. It's going to be over him. I ain't getting this back. It's a good fish, this is, man. I reckon it's miles past his swim. Yeah, it's miles. But it's like right over to the right. I think it's over the top of him at the minute. And I think it's all going to go wrong. Ben, have I got him? Right, it's under the rod tip now. Yeah, I think so. The line's pointing down. Oh yes, 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 yes. That's a unit. It's a unit. It's a unit. Here we go. Come and meet the other 6. Oh. I can't lift it because there's so many in the bottom there. Get in there. Get in there. Absolutely mega. Ah. Oh. Yes. Finally a big one. That is a good fish. Wicked. It's a bit out of hand in here. Can I have a look though? It's carp, that's what you call carp soup, isn't it? Pretty much. No, I'm going to lose them. Well, the best ones got away, didn't they? Well, a crazy, crazy afternoon. Must have had 10 takes, and this is the second biggest of those. 37.12, a lovely common, and I've got a bigger mirror in the net that I'm going to get out now. Oh yeah, it's a 49. Oh, look at that. That is exactly the sort of carp that Bled is famed for. 49 pounds. And the biggest fish we've had so far. It's been an absolutely mega day's fishing. Can't grumble, loads of bites, loads of action, and absolutely buzzing to get back tomorrow morning. Oh, there you go, straight at you. This is going wild. Have you got the church in the back? It's just me and you and the big one. It's very likely the last morning of our session here at Lake Bled, and what a better way to see out the final dawn. Oh my God, it is massive! My wrist's killing me. It is literally taking liberties with me. What is this? Gets me chair, Jacko. Need strapping into the tuna seat. Oh, my wrist.
This fish had been on for well over an hour. Was this the absolute mothership we was waiting for?
After all that. Yes! Get in there! Oh, an hour fight, unbelievable. And it's a big one. It's not even that big. It's about, I reckon it's a 40. Pulled my arm off. Ah, it's not even funny. Oh, and there's one on here too.
Thankfully, after a much shorter battle, this was in the net too.
Good old morning that. Yes. Yes.
Check him out. 41 pounds, lovely autumnal colours, and probably one of the hardest fighting carp I've ever caught. I had it on for over an hour, probably an hour and a half in total, and during the fight the other rod ripped off and had to leave it, but eventually got this one in and managed to get the other one in too, which was a 30-pound common, and things are going really, really well at the moment. All I've got to do is keep baiting up, keep pressing repeat, and catch a few more like this.
Just as I expected, nothing happened again till the evening. Would this be our final chance at catching a bled big un?
It's a take.
The big boys are in town.
The big boys are in town. And the spot is absolutely rocking. Mate, that's big. That's really big, really, really big, really, really, really big. That's 30 kilo fish. It's massive. That is absolutely massive. That is what we've been waiting for. Oh my God. Oh my God, that is huge. Oh mate. Not about 30 kilo, but it's the biggest one so far by a long way. Here we go. Here we go, backwards. Yes! Get in there! Yes! Yes! Ah, right at the death. Oh, that is absolutely mega. That is a monster. I reckon it's a 50. Could be a 60, it's fat. It's a 30 Kia. It is 67 pounds. Absolutely unbelievable. The perfect end. Well, how's about that? A 67 pounder in front of the famous church at Lake Bled. It hasn't been easy, but we've persevered, kept the bait going in, and right at the very end, the big one has come along. Absolutely incredible. Hope you've enjoyed the film, and if you'd like to see some more videos by Korda, there's plenty more on our YouTube channel. Check that out. Yes! Get in there! Ah.
How did you catch it? With your bare hand?
No, with the rods.
He swam in and got it.
He swam. Sorry, but
no problem.
That's embarrassing.
I tickled him out.
Oh, really. Thanks, guys.
See you soon. Take care.
I'm suddenly a hero, local legend.